Dr. Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
You're putting me on.
No, it's pronounced Frankenstein.
Do you also say Froderick?
No, Frederick.
Well, why isn't it Froderick Frankenstein?
It isn't. It's Frederick Frankenstein.
I see.
You must be Igor.
No, it's pronounced Igor.
But they told me it was Igor.
Well, they were wrong then, weren't they?
Americans will best remember Marty Feldman as Igor in Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein. But he had a long and diverse career beyond that role.
I wonder if you have a copy of Barnaby Budge.
No, as I say, we're right out of Edmund Wells.
No, not Edmund Wells, Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens?
Yes.
You mean Barnaby Rudge?
No, Barnaby Budge by Charles Dickens. That's Dickens with 2 Ks, the well-known Dutch author.
No, we don't have Barnaby Budge by Charles Dickens with 2 Ks, the well-known Dutch author. And perhaps to save time, I should add right away that we don't have Carnaby Fudge by Giles Tickens or Stickwick Stapers by Miles Pickens with 4 M's and a silent Q. Why don't you try the chemist?
I have. They sent me here.
Did they?
His first appearance on television was in 1967 as a cast member on At Last, the 1948 show.
But you know, I often think we were happier then, although we were poor.
Because we were poor.
Aye.
My old dad said to me, he said, money won't bring you happiness, son.
He was right.
Aye.
I was happier then. I had nothing. We used to live in a tiny, tumble-down old house with great holes in the roof. House? You're lucky to have a house. We used to live in one room, 26 of us. All there. No furniture. Half the floor was missing, and we were all huddled in one corner for fear of falling.
Room? You were lucky to have a room. We used to have to live in corridor.
Corridor? Oh, I used to dream of living in a corridor. That would have been a palace to us. We used to live in a water tank on rubbish tip. Every morning we'd be woke up by having a load of rotting fish dumped on us. House.
But before that, he had written for a number of programs on TV and the radio, including serving as head writer on The Frost Report.
Before we start the program, we would like to remind viewers that at this time of the year, when a lot of people leave their windows open, a television set or a radio set playing full blast can be a great source of irritation to your neighbours. Another good way to irritate them is to set fire to their dustbins.
He would star in a sketch comedy series of his own the following year, simply titled Marty, and later It's Marty. The writing staff would include several future members of Monty Python.
How many animals have you got in there, then?
Just the one. It's a thing.
Oh.
Yes, it followed me home, you know. I didn't have the heart to send it away. You know how attached you get to them. Yes.
Is it tame?
Oh, up to a point.
His second sketch comedy series was titled The Marty Feldman Comedy Machine. Co-produced with American television, it would air in the U.S. in a much-edited version. Writers for that series included Barry Levinson and Larry Gelbart. Both series would give Marty an opportunity to explore his love of silent film. Young Frankenstein would be his first American film.
Certainly. You take the blonde and I'll take the one in the turban.
Stop that!
It's the master.
May I go in?
The following year, Marty would once again play Gene Wilder's sidekick in The Adventure of Sherlock Holmes' smarter brother.
Marty Feldman as a man with a photographic sense of hearing.
Due to ill health, your brother has decided to take a short vacation in the country. Oh, not very long, 2 or 3 days at most, but he would very much appreciate if you would handle...
The film would also be Gene's first as director.
And now, 20th Century Fox presents the greatest comedy event of the 20th century, Mel Brooks' Silent Movie.
Marty would work with Mel Brooks again in Silent Movie, and he would direct an episode of Mel's Robin Hood TV series When Things Were Rotten.
Marty Feldman, Dom DeLuise.
In the late 1970s, Marty signed a deal with Universal to direct and star in multiple films. The first, the last remake of Beau Geste, was heavily re-edited by the studio, against Marty's wishes.
Marty Feldman's no fool. He put in action, love, tragedy, spectacle, tears, camels, soldiers, a cast of thousands.
Hello, God. It's me, Brother Ambrose. I hope I haven't woken you up or anything.
Well, Ambrose, I haven't heard from you lately.
I've made a movie.
What?
I've made a movie.
A movie? What kind of movie?
His second film was a daring religious satire titled In God We Trust. It would also feature Andy Kaufman, Louise Lasser, as well as Richard Pryor in the role of God.
Well, that's about all.
Bloody hell, another one. Bloody quitters.
Corpses all day long. Never stop.
Oh, you know, Gilbert, being a prisoner's not what it was when I came in here.
Here we go.
Whimpering ponces, they get a leg broken and they faint.
While filming scenes for the movie Yellowbeard on location in Mexico, Marty would suffer a fatal heart attack. He was 48 years old. Although obviously a gifted performer, Marty would always consider himself first and foremost a writer. In addition to the robust body of work as a writer, actor, and director, Marty also left behind a number of unpublished and unproduced pieces.
All I have is what's in there, yeah? That belongs to me. The thing to do is to keep people out of it. Well, unless you invite them in, as I'm inviting you in, fine. But that's, as a guest, you can come into my head. But my head is private, it belongs to me. I must fight to keep control of what's in there and not let other people get inside it and march all over it, you know?
It's like this every morning, I tell you. 15 years and I still fancy that.
Get out. See you later. Bye. Silly sod.
Well, whatever it is, we've never had anyone make such an impression on our entire cast. We'll see you next time on the Muppet Show.
Is it wrong to love an elephant? Is it wrong to even care?